All right, so today I am here with Kizzo. How are you doing, Kizzo?
Oh, good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. And he is a fellow Raid Shadow Legends YouTuber. And do you do Twitch too, or just the YouTubes?
Just the YouTube for now, but we'll see. Maybe one day soon.
All right, just the YouTubes for now, but I'll put his thing in the description. Anyway, so the topic today is we were going to talk about what makes a champion good, because there's lots and lots and lots of guide videos out. I've done my own guide videos about characters and why we think they're good, but a lot of people probably just look at the reviews or something and just think, okay, the reviews are good, he's good, and they don't particularly know why. I know when I was kind of new at Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, I looked up a lot of guides and just kind of copy pasted, but I didn't really know why. So I figured maybe we can talk about what makes a character good today. Hopefully you got some insight. I got some insight. Maybe somebody learned something. Maybe it's me. We'll find out.
That sounds good. That works for me. So.
All right. So right off the bat, I want to ask you this. When you pull a character, what is it you're looking for?
Usually that gold background. Okay. I think that's number one.
All right, yeah.
If not gold, then purple. Anything but green.
Okay, yeah, the gold. And when you get that gold character, typically, what skills are you looking for in a character, you think?
What I usually do, especially if I don't know what I pulled, is I look at the kit right away. I don't think the base stats are incredibly relevant. I think they're all pretty well normalized. Like maybe you get like 10 extra resist or, plus or minus, maybe 5% or less. So I don't think the base stats are something I would look at. I would go right to the kit and then start to think about the utility from the perspective of clan boss or arena. I mean, for me, if you have a good clan boss team, you have a good dungeon team. So I'm thinking about it from those two perspectives as I go through the kit.
Okay, that's a pretty good way of looking at it. For me, I'm always looking for, it seems to me like there's very repetitive features that we're always looking for in characters, like multiple hits on the basic attack, things like defense down, attack up, attack down.
Yeah.
There seems to be particularly types of skills that tend to be better than the other ones. And it seems like characters like Tyrell or Steel Skull or people, that happen to have all of the ones we all deem as the best just kind of mashed together in a kit. And I kind of wonder if it's the type of thing where some of these characters that maybe have, like Thanasil or something, that have some elements of these kits are almost, even if they're good characters, are almost never really usable because they get overshadowed by so many other characters.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, a lot of what you said there is right in line with, what people are looking for. You might be looking for your counterattack character. You're always looking for defense down. You're looking for weaken, probably second to defense down. And then interestingly enough, depending on what you're looking for, you might not even want an attack buff as much as you want a defense buff. If you're running Razin and you're running Tyrell, you'd be better off having a defense buff for your team to hit a little bit harder and have more survivability. But there are unique kits. Like think about Warlord, right? Warlord, if you're looking for what Warlord has, the only other hero that has it is Septimus. And honestly, Septimus is much more RNG dependent than Warlord is. So you could get that A1 where you're extending, the damage over time effect done by a different, champion. So I would say for me at the end of the day, when you're looking at, I think you have to build around clan boss. So you certainly want to have your, decrease defense weaken. I think, if you have it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Buffs are great. You definitely want to dispel, that way if you're sub 50%, you can knock off the buff. Defensive cleanses, offensive cleanses would be, obviously the dispel. I don't look for the multi-hit A1 as much as I used to, but I think it's mainly because my entire clan boss roster has a multi-hit A1.
Yeah. Yeah, same. At this point, I pulled like Nethril, and when you get to that point of pulling like Steel Skull, Nethril, and you start having most of them, and you got counterattacks and all that.
Yeah, if you were to boil it down to like if somebody just opened up a shard and said, okay, I don't know what this hero does. I don't know anything about this hero. Is it a good hero? I think the first thing you want to be looking for, probably the coolest of the abilities, this is my opinion, of course, so it's a bit subjective, would definitely be counterattack. I mean, if you're getting a good counterattack hero, that's amazing. That's going to change your clan boss team probably more than anything else. If you're in arena, for me, I would say the offensive AoE dispel. I think those are probably the two most, for me, the two strongest abilities with respect to the actual aspects of the game.
I agree. The problem with counterattack is there's only a few people with it. I wish they would have somebody that had the cross-map counterattack that was a little bit more accessible. Because if you don't get, what is it, Skull Crusher, Valkyrie, Martyr, am I missing one here?
No, and keep in mind, I mean, even though Valkyrie has it, it's on a much longer cooldown.
Yeah, it's like, what, so really 5-win booked or 6-win booked, something crazy like that?
I think it's 5-win booked, yeah. So, I mean, it's really Skull Crusher or it's Martyr, which that part definitely sucks. And I don't think Plarium's out to help us out in those areas. I think they're very happy that one of the best abilities in the game is restricted to 2 heroes. I think they'd be happier if they were both legendaries. And the barrier of entry was a little bit higher.
I think HP burn either needs to get reworked or get buffed, because I feel like HP burn characters bring something to the table that other characters don't in the HP burn debuff. But why does it tend to be worse than poison? That's the upsetting part for me.
It's not stackable. I think that's problem number one with it. If it were stackable, it would, objectively be better than poison. Right.
But you can only do the one, and you can't double dip any of the characters. Yeah. It just ruins it.
It's interesting because, it's still like in Spider 20. I mean, it's like Ignatius, for instance. I mean, that's your easy mode button for Spider 20. So unfortunately, I think we'd have a better argument to Plarium, if they listened, of course. But we'd have a better argument to them if we said, hey, look, this ability is completely useless in all fights. Unfortunately, it's incredibly useful in Spider 20. So, but I completely agree with you. But if you were to, let's just say, try to tell someone at Plarium why you think it should be revamped, they could always fall back on the fact that, it has its footholds in little niche areas like Spider 20. But in Clan Boss, I mean, it's almost worthless. It's good maybe mid-game. Like, you get your first Juliana or something. I'm sorry, not Juliana. You get your, I can't even think of the name of the barbarian girl that does.
Oh, yeah, Kalia.
Is it Talia?
No, Kalia with the K? Kalia?
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if I said it wrong. I sound a little bit like a hick. So, getting the...
I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that either, to be honest. Most of these people... And I feel like all the barbarian chicks look exactly alike. They're just, like, mirrored. Like, this chick and this chick are basically the same person with different lipstick on.
They do that with a lot of character models. And then they, like, kind of surprise you. Like, the new undead legendary guy that actually has HP burn. I can't think of his name right now.
Crypt King. Now, Crypt King looks probably the coolest looking character in the game.
I wish he were a little bit better. One of the guys that's in my Discord was asking me about him the other day, and I was like, man, I mean, you can 6-star him. I'm sure he's got a home somewhere, but just his kit doesn't really...
If his basic attack was a 4-hit, make it a 4-hit with a 25% chance each time, then we're talking.
Decrease attack. Yeah.
We're talking, I think.
No, I totally agree.
Or give him some kind of like weird, give him a 5th passive revive move where like he revives everyone one time when he dies or something. I don't know.
The revives are really interesting because it's I was trying to figure out, there's a guy in my guild that's a moderator, Kiwi, and he's decently known in the community, but he does he can get up to about 28 million on a single hit without counterattack for Nightmare Clan Boss. So that's really good without counterattack, and he uses Arbiter. And he's in Australia, I believe, because his time zone's off from me pretty bad. And but I've been really kind of trying to pick his brain a little bit on how he's using Arbiter. I don't know if he's buffing other attack heroes and their damage is coming from the buff, or if he's just really repetitively using that revive and staying alive a lot deeper in the fight. But that may be.
I guess we'll find out once we have Arbiter.
I have Arbiter. I need to do a guide on her.
Oh, you have Arbiter. Oh man, you should go experiment with that. Figure that one out for us.
That was a little bit back. I've tried it a couple times, and like I'm at that point now where I need to have him tell me, because every time I use her, I like die at 15 million damage dealt. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just failing miserably at this. So
yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't go with blue hair for her, because they did like the blue sword, and she's got the blue background, the blue sword. You would think they would have gone with blue hair, but then they just gave her red hair.
Yeah, they make some weird design choices. I mean, obviously it's a very aesthetically pleasing game, but at the end of the day, some of the if you compare it to like the whole gacha category, like games like Alune and whatnot, there seems to be that I guess it's a Japanese influence of kind of having women wear like 2% of clothes covering their body, and there's some
seems
of that
pretty
here
standard around here apparently.
And in Raid, it's interesting because you get a little bit of that, and then you get like some like the undead and the demon spawn, and then now they have like the dragon race. So, I mean, I guess my point is they do some really cool shit, and then you can tell there's characters where they just completely didn't care, and then there's characters that just look exactly like someone else. And it's funny, the YouTube community manager, I asked him if they were going to start doing skins. Right. And I was like, man, like it's a great way to monetize. If you're going to make a PC version, why not do skins?
Sure.
And he was like, we already do it. Look at Big On and Ignatius. They're the same person. You could kind of tell there was like a little vitriol there. Like he was probably like, holding that against the design team a little bit. Like, damn, why didn't you guys go out there and just put a little effort into making the next one look a little bit different?
That's pretty fun. Yeah, I kind of wish they... I do wish they would chop it up a little bit when it comes to design, because I don't mind reusing them sometimes, okay? But using two of the same skins within legendaries of the same faction,
that's
a little...
I completely agree.
Yeah, that's a little much, maybe.
I mean, if you're going to do it with commons, uncommons, I mean, I definitely get that, to have some redundancy or some repetitiveness. But to your point, same faction, same legendaries. It's a little bit lazy, and I mean, unfortunately, I think we're going to end up seeing probably. I don't know. Have any of the new heroes had an existing look? I think they've all had new looks, right?
Well, Yaga was new. Dark Aethel was a reskin of a previous character.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point.
And then Khatun was new. But then we got a new rare that looks exactly like Yaga already. But then we got things like, what was it, Pitless one? I think it was a new design too. So we have been getting new ones, and we got like crew tracks and stuff. We've been getting a lot of new, but we've been getting some repeats. So to be fair, a lot of the new ones look pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a handful of new ones that kind of stand out a bit, and then I'd be interested to see if with the PC version of the game coming out, if they don't try to take this a bit further, because it seems like a player is passionate about the game being a very aesthetic game and having cool skins or whatever you want to call it. Yet, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, you have like a really meticulous person designing these heroes, but they have deadlines, and they only design 2 of the 6. So it's like, all right, well, hell with it. Just use those 2 on all 6 of them because that's all we have. That would make sense, but
I guess we'll never know. One of those things we can cast a wish into the well and see if we ever find out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that should probably wrap up this video, guys. You got any last words, Kizzo?
No. Thanks for having me on, man. I hope more of these in the near future.
Yeah, it's good to have a chat with you. Everyone head on over, say hi to him, sub to my boy. All right, guys, We're out of here. Bye-bye now. Have a good day.
See ya.